Happy Wednesday, everybody. I have missed you guys this week. I hope you've had a great week, and I hope that you've been able to access the videos so that you could do the lessons. I will be back, obviously, tomorrow, and so you can ask questions if you need help with anything. Today, we are going to be talking about finding the distance between 2 points. When you get to high school geometry, we will actually use a distance formula, and I'll show you tomorrow what that looks like. But I wanted to show you that you can always use it by using the Pythagorean theorem. And this is something that we did a couple of weeks ago. And if you remember, the Pythagorean theorem is the a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So instead of using the distance formula, we're going to be able to find the distance between 2 points using our Pythagorean theorem. So let's talk about our steps. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to draw a line to connect the points. This becomes your C. You will notice this is kind of like your diagonal or your slant or the hypotenuse. So that's the longest side of your triangle. Step 2 is you're going to draw a horizontal line and a vertical line to form the triangle. So basically you complete the triangle. These would be considered your legs, your A and your B. And then step 3, you're going to use your Pythagorean theorem, this a squared plus b squared equals c squared, to find the distance between the 2 points. So let's go through and do our examples, and that way you can see exactly what I'm talking about as we go through and do this. So my step 1 says to connect these points. So that's going to be my first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to connect M and L. And as you see, that kind of makes a slant. Well, the next step is going to go ahead and to draw a vertical line. So we're going to draw a vertical line to make a triangle. So we'd come to be about right there. And then we're also going to draw a horizontal line. We're going to make this a point. And now we have formed a triangle by using step 1 and step 2. Now, it does not have units on here for us to just automatically look at. So we have to count to determine what those units would be. So I'm going to label this side A, this side's going to be B, and this side is going to be C. Obviously, this would be a lot harder to figure out. The C side would be a lot harder to figure out if I'm just counting, and we want to get as accurate as possible, so that's why we're going to use our Pythagorean theorem. So when I come over here and I count, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that this side would be 8, and when I count the B side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I see that this side is going to be 6. I'm going to plug those numbers into my Pythagorean theorem. 8 squared plus 6 squared is going to equal c squared. Hopefully you guys have been practicing your squares test, because I think you had a squares test today. Actually, you're going to have it tomorrow. Forgot I had moved it. So you're going to have a squares test tomorrow, so this is a good practice for that. So we're going to do a squared. That's going to give us 64. 6 squared is going to give us 36, and we know that that equals c squared. We're going to go ahead and combine these two, and we get 100. And as you know, that we have to do the inverse of squaring a number. The inverse of squaring a number is finding your square root. And so I get that 10 equals c. And so I'm going to come over here and say, okay, is it reasonable that that side would be 10? Yes, it is reasonable. And so this is going to be my answer. I know that the distance between point M and L is 10. Now, if I had looked at that, I could have estimated, but now I actually know because I used the Pythagorean theorem to be able to figure it out. All right, so let's try P and Q. Same thing, we're going to connect the dots or connect and make a line between P and Q. And you can either make your triangle going up or you can make your triangle going down. You're going to get the same either way. This time I'm going to kind of make it going up. So we're going to go here. Put our dot. That was my vertical line. Then we're going to draw our horizontal line. I'm going to label this A, I'm going to label this B, and we know that that side is going to be our C. And so I'm going to count using this Pythagorean theorem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 squared. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's going to be 9 squared. That's going to give me 4 times 4 is 16, 9 times 9 is 81. And when I add those up, I get 97. And I know some of you are like, uh-oh, Miss Manning, that's not a perfect square. You're exactly right. You're going to have some decimals. But I know that in order to be able to find my answer for this one, I'm going to find the square root of 97. And when I plug the square root of 97 into my calculator, I get that it's going to be about 9.8. And so I could say, does it make sense that this would be about 9.8? And it does. And so that's going to be my answer, is about 9.8 would be my answer. Okay. All right, taking a look at this very next one, last example for the day. We're going to take a look and see if we can draw a diagonal with F and G. When I draw that diagonal, automatically I see that it is not a straight line. It makes it a little bit harder to count. I can draw my vertical line here, and I can draw my horizontal line here. And I know some of you are like, well, how do you know how far to go up? Well, you just want to know where is this line and this line going to meet, and that's where your point is. You don't have to overcomplicate it or make it harder than it seems. It's just where those two lines would meet if they were to continue on. This time I'm going to call this side A, this side's going to be B, and this side is going to be C. So we're going to have the A squared plus B squared plus equals C squared. Y'all just thought you were done with the Pythagorean theorem. Just kidding. Okay, so then I'm going to count. That's going to be 3. And then when I count this side, I get 7, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to plug that in. I'm going to do 3 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared. 9 plus 49. And 9 plus 49 is going to give me 58 equals C squared. Well, that means I have to find the square root of 58, and the square root of 58 is about 7.6. And so when I plug this in up here, I ask myself, does that make sense? Is my hypotenuse greater than both of my legs? It is. And would it make sense that that would be about 7.6? And it does. And so that's how you use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between 2 points. Again, I will show you tomorrow the distance formula, and you'll be glad that you only had to use the Pythagorean theorem today. If you guys will work on this will be due on Friday. You probably more than likely will get this finished before then. But if not, then just know that this homework will be due on Friday. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.